Come back again soon. Come back again soon.
Okay, fair enough.
Hamas committed war crimes.
But you've not waited for the ICC to make their case?
No, because Hamas broadcast it on their own GoPros.
So have Israel.
We're committing war crimes.
It's literally on camera. Thousands of war crimes.
We've run out of time. Literally, the studio has run out of time. Okay. However, I would love to have you back more often. Sure.
Have you ever watched a debate where one person starts out sounding completely confident, only to end up struggling to defend their own arguments? That's exactly what you're about to see. This exchange quickly turns into a tense back and forth, with some uncomfortable questions that become harder and harder to avoid. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll already know that Piers Morgan has built a reputation for taking positions that many viewers associate with the political right. Whether you agree with him or not, he's rarely shy about defending those viewpoints. But every now and then, a guest comes along who refuses to let those arguments go unchallenged. And that's exactly what makes this conversation so fascinating. What you're about to watch is one of those moments where the pressure keeps building. Instead of allowing the discussion to stay on familiar talking points, Owen Jones repeatedly pushes back, forcing the conversation into areas that become increasingly difficult to dismiss. As the exchange unfolds, you can see the debate becoming more intense, with each question demanding a more direct answer than the last. One of the most striking parts of this discussion is how quickly it shifts from a routine interview into a heated confrontation over accountability, consistency, and the way the conflict in Gaza is discussed in mainstream media. Rather than simply accepting the framing of the conversation, Owen Jones challenges it point by point, creating several moments that leave the debate feeling far less one-sided than it may have appeared at the beginning. Whether you agree with every argument made or not, it's hard to deny that this becomes an incredibly tense exchange, with both sides trying to defend their positions under constant scrutiny. By the end, you'll be able to judge for yourself who made the stronger case. Let's watch the full exchange first, and once it's over, I'll break down the biggest moments, explain what stood out to me, and share my perspective on everything that was said.
I thought the Israeli military response was a direct response to Hamas's official spokesman saying on camera for the world to see, we're going to keep trying to do more and more October the 7th.
Did you think this about Rwanda?
You keep saying what about
No, it's not what about it. It's about consistency. What happened in Rwanda? What's the difference?
I'm not going to talk about every conflict around the world.
No.
You've asked me a direct question. You've asked me a direct question about the first month in which Israel bombarded Hamas in Gaza.
No, they killed lots of innocent civilians.
They killed lots of civilians.
Thousands of innocent
civilians. It's not murder if you are doing a proportionate response to a terror attack.
It wasn't proportionate. Do you accept that?
I kept asking what is proportionate. Right? I have now concluded in the last few months it's gone way past proportionate.
But this is the thing. You spent months.
You don't blame Hamas for what happened in the first few weeks.
It was in the obvious.
Do you not blame Hamas?
The war crimes, I blame them for their war crimes.
You don't blame them for what Israel then did?
Every war crime Israel committed
So
is on Israel.
Hamas built a massive tunnel network. They then launched the worst terror attack on Jewish people
has no legal
since
standing.
the Holocaust. Right. And when Israel inevitably responds the way they did, that's not on Hamas.
There is no legal basis for what you just said. You cannot say when you commit war crimes, I was made to do them. Every war crime, legally speaking, that the Israeli military
But I don't think what Israel did in the first few months was a war crime.
But that's like saying...
It was a defence against Hamas doing it again.
But you wouldn't say that about the 240 Palestinians who'd been killed by the Israeli military in the months before 7th of October.
But
so what's the difference?
Israelis have also been killed throughout the 75-year conflict. Well, you can go back over 75 years and you can say each could respond to the other.
Okay.
But they've always done it on a much smaller scale. Do you accept that? And do you accept what Hamas did on October the 7th was on a scale totally out of kilter with anything that had happened on one day before? Do you accept that?
Yeah, obviously they killed
and do you accept that by
more
building
Israelis on that day? But what Israel has done since is infinitely worse.
Fine.
Infinitely worse.
By building the tunnel network, do you accept that Hamas protected themselves at the expense of the civilian population?
Israel wiped out civilians.
Do you accept that?
Israel attacked civilian
targets. Do you accept that Hamas knew what was going to happen?
Benjamin Netanyahu
and built the tunnels to hide
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Do you accept that part?
Again, it's irrelevant to the point of Israel attacking civilians.
Irrelevant that Israel knew exactly, that Hamas knew exactly what was going to do?
Benjamin Netanyahu, in the first week, was given a list of 100 targets by his general, and he said, that's not enough targets, I want 400, and he said, destroy their homes. That's what he said. This was revealed in an Israeli newspaper. Now, the idea that they were, the reason that they slaughtered so many civilians in that first week was because of tunnels is a lie, Piers, and you must know that's a lie.
No, it wasn't my question. My question was, do you not think that when Hamas planned this attack and carried it out, having spent 20 years building this tunnel network, they then hid in the tunnels and let their civilian population take the inevitable bombardment that was going to come back when they committed the attack they had committed? In other words, Hamas sacrificed their own civilian population. Now,
you're trying to deflect from Israel's direct responsibility.
You're saying that
we know Hamas committed war crimes. Everybody accepts
so
that.
when any country,
Israel is guilty of the war crimes it perpetrated.
So to be clear, then, your position is if a country has a terror attack on the scale of what Hamas did to Israel on October the 7th, any response by that country militarily is a war crime. Well, is that your position? Is that your position?
If you kill civilians through either disproportionality,
that's not a war crime.
Legality, or intention.
Israel
made clear.
It's not a war crime.
Yes, it is. Israel made clear from the beginning.
It's not a war crime.
Israel said from the beginning they were fighting human animals.
You don't understand international law.
Yes, I do understand international law. A war crime is...
It's not a war crime.
A war crime doesn't mean if you're attacked, you can break international law and the norms of war. It means you have to abide by the norms of war.
It's not a war crime for a country to defend itself against terrorists.
Israel committed war crimes from the very beginning.
We will establish the truth about the war crimes they committed.
Do you think that Israel wasn't? Do you think Israel wasn't committing war crimes from day one?
I don't know, because they wouldn't let journalists in. I don't know what they were doing.
They did it on camera, Piers. They did it on camera in front of the whole of the live.
But you think that any military response is a crime, and that's not true.
That's not what I said.
It's pretty much what you implied.
The reason this has happened is because Israel has been committing war crimes for generations. Literally, the Nakba, in which 15,000 Palestinians
and yet every war that started in the
as they were driven from their homes. 75
years of the conflict, every one of the 5 wars has been started by...
That isn't true.
Well, who started them?
Do you think in 67 that's true? That's absolutely not true at all. But we're talking about the Palestinian people
Just
here.
to be clear, you think...
Are you saying this? Are you saying
you think all 5 outbreaks of war in the 75 years were started by Israel?
The Palestinian people didn't start any of those wars.
Arabs started the wars.
So just Palestinians just get lumped in with Arabs.
Did Israel start those wars?
Did Palestinians start any of those wars?
We're
talking about Palestinians here. We're talking about the war on the Palestinian people. Yeah, but we're talking about the war on the We're talking about the war on the Palestinian people and their right to exist.
Is Israel ever allowed to defend itself?
Israel needs to become a single state from the river to the sea in which Jewish people and Palestinians have equal rights. That's what it needs to do. And until that happens, there will never be peace.
I believe in a 2-state solution where they all get the same human rights. On that, I agree.
OK, but the reason the war crimes, which you keep erasing because you keep starting...
I want to see the evidence of the war crimes. So when it comes, I will be the first to lambast them.
They did them on camera.
But I prefer due process on these things.
Yeah, but when they declare to the world they're fighting human animals and they're going to... From the very beginning, they said...
I would call Hamas human animals.
They didn't say... They said civilians. They said the residents of Gaza. And they said they were cutting off, at the very beginning, water and fuel. Is a deliberate siege...
Do you know what?
Is a deliberate siege of a civilian population, is that a war crime, yes or no?
Listen, if you're asking me, do I agree with the occupation? No.
No, I'm talking about the siege. They announced the siege of Gaza.
No, they shouldn't have been able to do it.
Is it a war crime or not?
Probably.
So you accept they committed war crimes from day one, then?
I think the siege that they enacted because they were able to is indicative of the wider, bigger picture problem of the occupation. I agree with that.
So you conceded the point, then? You've conceded the point that this doesn't begin, obviously, in the 7th of October.
Of course not.
But then...
I've never said that.
You would never say...
I think you should watch my show more often.
Well, I've got... Life's
good to have you back.
Life's too short.
It's good to have you back. But honestly, life isn't too short for you to be better informed about what I do on my show.
Well, you don't accept Israel's
committing genocide. All these generalisations, which make me think you haven't watched it.
You don't think Israel's committing genocide?
You'd be better informed if you watched my show more often.
Do you think Israel's committing genocide?
As you were about our friend Bob Violet, who it turned out made you look a right chump.
Well, anyway, you look more of a chump when you won't accept Israel's committing genocide, Piers, which is really easy to do. You could just say it now. Is Israel committing genocide?
When the ICC says it's genocide, I will say it's genocide. So that's what we have.
That's the only time you're waiting.
That's kind of a legal process I'm waiting for.
OK, so you will never...
But we've run out of time.
OK, so...
It's good to see you.
If Hamas... You don't think Hamas has committed war crimes either?
Come back again soon.
OK, fair enough.
Hamas committed war crimes.
But you've not waited for the ICC to make their case?
No, because Hamas broadcast it on their own GoPros.
So have Israel.
We're committing war crimes.
It's literally on camera. Thousands of war crimes.
We've run out of time. Literally, the studio has run out of time. Okay. However, I would love to have you back more often. Sure.
The moment that really stood out to me came right at the end of that exchange because it exposed what I see as a major inconsistency. Owen Jones asked Piers Morgan whether Israel had committed war crimes, And Piers' response was that he wanted to wait for the legal process and for international courts to reach their conclusions before making that judgment. But then, moments later, when the conversation turned to Hamas, he had no hesitation in giving a definitive answer. That's where Owen Jones really applied the pressure. If your standard is to wait for legal findings in one case, shouldn't that same standard apply consistently across the board? Whether you agree with Owen or Piers, that was the question hanging over the entire discussion, and I think a lot of viewers noticed it. Whenever I cover topics like this, I try to look beyond the debate itself and see what major international organizations are actually saying. Organizations including the UN, Human Rights Watch, and Amnesty International have raised serious allegations about Israel's military campaign in Gaza, including concerns over attacks affecting civilians, damage to hospitals and other civilian infrastructure, and restrictions impacting the civilian population. They have argued that these actions may amount to violations of international law, while legal proceedings and international investigations continue. At the same time, these are issues that remain the subject of ongoing legal and political debate. And that's exactly why consistency matters. If we're going to rely on international law and legal institutions, then those standards should be applied fairly and consistently, regardless of which side is being discussed. Overall, I thought Owen Jones forced some difficult questions that Piers Morgan had to grapple with, and that made this one of the more compelling exchanges I've seen in a while. But that's just my perspective. Let me know what you thought about this debate down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more political commentary, and I'll see you in the next one.